Well, I'm heading to one of the two small boneyards that are within 15 minutes from my house. This one's just over the state line in Connecticut. And this is one I went to when I needed to fix the cruise control on my other Dodge pickup truck. One of my videos on here explains how I was able to fix the servo drive unit for the cruise control. And I first went and got a used one out of this junkyard, and there was something different about it, but the internal parts were the same, so I took it apart and fixed my original one, and that actually still works to this day. That was well over a year ago, I think. So anyways, they're a little bit more reasonable to deal with. They're not set in stone price on things. They kind of shoot you from the hip type of price, which sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But, you know, alternators, you get a lot of aluminum, you get a lot of copper in there, so with scrap metal prices high, alternators are commanding a higher value just as junk, scrap, than they used to. So that makes it a little more difficult to buy something reasonable. You know, especially like I said, when you're looking at a rebuild, at Napa, I might be able to get a rebuild for 55 bucks. So I got to get this thing pretty darn cheap. So hopefully this will work out. These the owners of this scrapyard, they're unique in a way because they got this van out here that they just litter up with the weirdest stuff. Let's see if I can. There you go. Caveat emptor. Oh, that's a little bit of Latin there for you, which is buyer beware, I think is the loose translation. Junkyard. Buying a junkyard house, enjoy all the splendor, big noise, mega dust, bad land, overpriced, brutal taxes, distressed town, loud traffic all day, all night long. Imagine this. Duh. Anyways. Well, that's what I got. Looks a little horrid. It was in a pickup truck with no hood on it for who knows how long. Chevy pickup. Looked like maybe about an 83 pickup. And it's got the right plug on it. Don't know if the orientation's going to work, or maybe we can make it work. So, as bad as this looks, it actually sounds pretty good when you spin it. We found two more, one of which looked cleaner, but had a bad bearing noise when you spin it. And the other one was still on a motor and looked like it was in worse shape than this one. So this is the one I went with, 20 bucks. Would have loved to have given you a tour of the place as I was looking. I saw a lot of neat stuff down there. Old tractors, just machinery, cool looking stuff if you're into looking at that kind of old crap. But these guys probably wouldn't be thrilled about me down there with a camera, so I'll take a quick little video on the way out, and that's it. First thing I got to do to see whether or not this alternator is going to work is I got to take this bracket right here off. Oh man, something's not right here. When I bolt this on the way the other one was bolted on, this space between where this bracket comes onto here and there's way off. See, the whole alternator is too far forward this way. What's up with that? Did the wide part go on the top here? No. Alright, let's see just how different these are. Let's see. Right now I've got that in the position that that one is in. So that looks right. So then the front, the broken faceplate. Oh. Okay. That's a difference right there. Then that should be the same, the top. I can't believe that little, what is that, 3/8 of an inch maybe length extra there is what's fouling me up. That should not be it. That should not be what's fouling me up. Yeah, I just put the two halves of the case back together with the stator in the middle, and you can see they're almost identical. The cases are almost identical on these two, except for the fact that on this case it stops right there. On this case you get this extra nub right here, and I'm not entirely convinced that somebody didn't grind that off, cut or grind that off to make this alternator work in this application. I bet you that's what they did, because that doesn't look very straight to me. If you look real carefully, you can actually see the line where the casting is right there. Thinking that's what they did. They modified this. So, question is, do I have to modify this one to make this work? Well, yeah, I just went back out there and double checked, and that's the deal. If I want to get this alternator to mount like this alternator was mounted, which wasn't that great, by the way. It wasn't exactly perfect the way it was mounted, but it was mounted. I'm going to have to modify this case by cutting or grinding off about this much of this bus right here. So, or boss, I should say. Anyways, not going to be doing that now, because even though it's a junkyard alternator, the guy was good enough to tell me that if it wasn't a good working alternator, I could come back and get another one, even exchange. So I don't want to do any cutting on this thing until I know if it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this down to the auto parts store, have them test it on the alternator tester, and if it passes, then I'll come back, grind it up, and mount it. Well, I could say one good thing about this alternator, a promising thing, continuity check from the field terminal to ground, or where the white wire goes to ground, and this one's black wire, but I'm getting about 45 ohms solid resistance reading, as opposed to on my other one I was getting pretty much an open, and schematic shows that this terminal pretty much goes directly through one of the brushes to the rotor. So I already feel better about this alternator.